You started being interested in the arts very young, yes?
Yeah, I guess. When I finished high school, I went to a theater school. In Australia, it was called the National Institute of Dramatic Art, and you couldn't pay to go. They had to take you, and a lot of people lined up, so...
Once heralded as one of the legends of Hollywood, Mel Gibson has left an indelible mark on the film industry through his multifaceted career as an actor. As a cinematic icon, he's not only graced the screen with his acting prowess, but also ventured behind the camera to shape compelling narratives. However, in 2006, Mel Gibson experienced a precipitous fall from grace, a stark contrast to the heights of his Hollywood acclaim. The incident during this period not only tarnished his previously sterling reputation, but also marked a turning point that led to him being viewed as a fallen figure in the entertainment industry. Join us as we uncover what really happened to Mel Gibson.
I'd been in a pub fight with a rugby team, and of course, if you're fighting like three guys, they beat the hell out of you. So,
honest to God, you weren't?
Yeah, I got into a fist fight, and I ended up the worse for wear. And I drove a buddy of mine to an audition for this film, and they saw me in the office, and they said, "Whoa, you're a freak. We might need freaks in this film."
Mel Gibson was born on the 3rd of January 1956 in New York, USA. His mother sadly passed away in 1990, but he hails from a large Irish-American family, being the 6th of 11 children and the second son of Hutton Gibson, a writer, and Aunt Patricia. The Gibson family's roots are deeply embedded in Irish heritage, a fact reflected in Mel's first name. It's derived from St. Mel's Cathedral, a church in his mother's hometown of Longford. Mel's paternal grandmother, Eva Mylott, was an opera contralto born in Australia to Irish parents, while his paternal grandfather, John Hutton Gibson, was a wealthy tobacco businessman from the southern United States. The diverse cultural influences in his family tree contributed to Mel's rich background. Growing up, Mel's family moved to Sydney, Australia, when his father was rewarded with $145,000 in a work-related injury lawsuit against the New York Central Railroad in 1968. Mel was 12 years old at the time, and the relocation was driven by economic considerations. Moreover, his fathers feared that his sons would be drafted into the army. In Australia, Mel attended St. Leo's Catholic College in New South Wales, where he received his education during his high school years. The school was run by the Congregation of Christian Brothers, providing Mel with a Catholic education that would later influence his life and work. The blend of Irish-American and Australian influences laid the foundation for a career that would see him become one of Hollywood's most iconic figures. Mel's journey in the world of acting has been marked by critical acclaim, diverse roles, and a reputation as a charismatic performer. He first gained attention from film critics and drew comparisons to classic movie stars early in his career. In 1982, Vincent Canby likened him to a young Steve McQueen, who said he saw the same star factor in him. He was also compared to a combination of Clark Gable and Humphrey Bogart. His roles in iconic films such as the Mad Max series, Gallipoli, and the Lethal Weapon series solidified his label as an action hero. Mel Gibson's journey into acting started at the National Institute of Dramatic Art, or NIDA, in Sydney, where he studied alongside actress Judy Davis. His theatrical credits include playing the leads in Romeo and Juliet and experimental roles like Queen Titania and A Midsummer Night's Dream. After graduating in 1977, Gibson made his film debut in 1977 in Summer City and took on the title role in Mad Max in 1979, earning $15,000 for his performance. He continued to balance film and stage acting, showcasing his versatility. In the early 1980s, Mel's career soared with his role in Gallipoli, earning him accolades and catching the attention of Hollywood. The sequel, Mad Max 2, released as The Road Warrior in the United States, marked his breakthrough in the American market. Mel's roles in Peter Weir's romantic thriller, The Year of Living Dangerously, and the gothic romance Mrs. Soffel further established his acting prowess. The late 1980s saw Mel's rise as a Hollywood leading man with iconic roles in Lethal Weapon and Tequila Sunrise. He continued with successes in films like Braveheart, for which he won 2 Academy Awards for Best Director and Best Picture. Throughout the 1990s, Mel alternated between commercial hits like the Lethal Weapon series and personal projects such as Hamlet. In the early 2000s, Mel's career continued to flourish with successful films like The Patriot, Signs, and the Vietnam War drama We Were Soldiers. The Patriot Signs became the highest-grossing film of his acting career. After achieving success in Hollywood, particularly with the Lethal Weapon series, Mel expanded his involvement in the film industry by venturing into producing and directing. In 1989, Gibson, along with partner Bruce Davey, established Icon Productions with the primary goal of producing Hamlet. Icon Productions not only became a platform for producing Mel's own star vehicles, but also for creating smaller films like Immortal Beloved and An Ideal Husband. The production company broadened its scope to include television projects, such as a Three Stooges biopic and the 2008 PBS documentary Carrier. Icon evolved into an international distribution company and film exhibitor in Australia and New Zealand. Mel's foray into directing began with encouragement from studio executives in 1989. Initially hesitant, he eventually embraced the idea, making his directorial debut in 1993 with The Man Without a Face. 2 years later, he directed Braveheart, a historical epic that earned him the Academy Award for Best Director. Despite planning a Fahrenheit 451 remake, the project was indefinitely postponed in 1999 due to scheduling conflicts. In 2004, Gibson directed the controversial and highly successful film The Passion of the Christ, which he also co-wrote and co-produced. The film, in Aramaic and Latin with subtitles, became the highest-grossing R-rated film at the time. This was the movie that made Mel a polarizing figure in the Hollywood industry. Mel continued his directorial pursuits with the action-adventure film Apocalypto in 2006, featuring sparse dialogue in a non-English language. Expressing a desire to direct a film set during the Viking Age, Mel intended to collaborate with Leonardo DiCaprio, envisioning dialogue in period languages. However, Leonardo opted out of the project. In 2011, Gibson commissioned a screenplay from Joe Eszterhas about the Maccabees, a project that stirred controversy. Despite publicized disputes with Eszterhas, Mel expressed his intention to make the film, but not based on Eszterhas's script. Mel's interest in biblical narratives persisted, as seen in his ongoing preparation for a film on the Maccabees, drawing parallels to the American Old West genre. Mel also announced plans to reunite with Braveheart screenwriter Randall Wallace for a sequel to Passion of the Christ, focusing on the resurrection of Jesus. The sequel, titled The Passion of the Christ Resurrection, was expected to delve into a substantial and complex subject. Additionally, Mel has expressed his intention to direct and star in Lethal Weapon 5 after the death of director Richard Donner. In May 2023, it was announced that Gibson would direct Flight Risk, starring Mark Wahlberg, a film centered around a pilot transporting a dangerous criminal for trial. Many people might not know this, but Mel can be quite a weird director on set, as he has developed some unique and unconventional habits. Despite the seriousness of the filmmaking process, Mel, influenced by directors like George Miller, Peter Weir, and Richard Donner, has found ways to break tension and infuse humor into his projects. One particular habit of Mel as a director involves using red clown noses during serious scenes. This unconventional approach serves as a way to lighten the mood on set to alleviate the pressure that often accompanies intense and emotional sequences. By incorporating humor in unexpected ways, Mel creates an atmosphere that fosters creativity and camaraderie among the cast and crew. Helena Bonham Carter, who worked with Mel on Hamlet, described his sense of humor as basic, occasionally leaning towards the lighthearted and less sophisticated side. Mel's choice of comedic relief shows his willingness to embrace unconventional methods in pursuit of an enjoyable and collaborative work environment. Mel's penchant for injecting humor into serious situations extends beyond the set itself. In the teaser trailer for Apocalypto, released in 2005, Gibson inserted a single frame featuring himself smoking a cigarette. This subtle and unexpected inclusion adds a touch of irreverence and playfulness to the promotional material. Overall, Mel Gibson's peculiar directorial habits, from red clown noses to impromptu acts of humor on set, contribute to his reputation as a filmmaker unafraid to embrace the unexpected. Mel's romantic life has been characterized by marriages, divorces, and public controversies. His first significant relationship was with Robin Denise Moore, whom he met in 1977 in Adelaide, South Australia, shortly after filming Mad Max. They married on the 7th of June 1980 and had 7 children together, 1 daughter, Hannah, and 6 sons, Edward, Christian, William, Louis, Milo, and Thomas. After 26 years of marriage, Mel and Robin separated in 2006, with their divorce finalized on December 23, 2011, reportedly making one of Hollywood's most significant settlements at over $400 million. The dissolution of Mel's first marriage coincided with a period of personal challenges. Robin filed for divorce in April 2009, citing irreconcilable differences. The divorce followed the release of photographs depicting Mel embracing Russian songwriter and pianist Oksana Grigorieva. Mel's romantic involvement with Grigorieva, which began during his separation from Robin, became highly publicized. Oksana Grigorieva, with whom Mel shares a daughter named Lucia, born on the 30th of October 2009, became a focal point of controversy. However, the next year, Mel faced another significant controversy involving allegations during an argument with Oksana. Recordings of their heated exchange were made public, and the language that Mel used triggered public outrage. The fallout from these revelations damaged Mel's reputation and led to further scrutiny of his personal life. The incident also raised questions about Hollywood's tolerance for individuals involved in such controversies. The relationship ended with legal battles and restraining orders. The settlement with Grigorieva included a payment of $750,000, joint legal custody of their daughter, and a house in Sherman Oaks, California, until Lucia turns 18. Subsequent legal complications arose when Grigorieva sued her attorneys, claiming they advised her to sign an unfavorable agreement. Furthermore, in the same recordings, Gibson was heard using racially insensitive language, adding another layer to the already tumultuous controversy. The public response was swift, with many expressing disappointment and calling for accountability. These incidents became defining moments in Mel's career, overshadowing his cinematic achievements with the stain of controversy. Since 2014, Mel Gibson has been in a relationship with Rosalind Ross, a former champion equestrian vaulter and writer. They welcomed their first child, a son named Lars Jarrett, on the 20th of January 2017 in Los Angeles. This relationship has been a quieter and more private chapter in Mel's romantic life, away from the intense public scrutiny that characterized his previous involvements. In 2006, Mel Gibson made headlines due to a highly publicized and controversial incident that significantly impacted his career and public image. On the 28th of July 2006, Mel was arrested for driving under the influence near his home in Malibu, California. The circumstances surrounding his arrest took a particularly alarming turn when Mel's behavior during the incident became the focal point of attention. During the arrest, Mel was reported to have made offensive remarks to the arresting officer. Mel's offensive comments included derogatory statements and remarks that were widely criticized for their inappropriate and offensive nature. The actor's use of anti-Semitic language and his expression of inflammatory sentiments added a layer of controversy to an already serious legal matter. Subsequently, details emerged about Mel's tirade during the arrest, including an inflammatory statement directed at Jews. The incident caused an immediate public outcry, and Mel faced severe backlash for his offensive and insensitive remarks. As a result of the controversy, Mel issued a public apology for his behavior, acknowledging the inappropriateness of his comments and expressing remorse. Despite the apology, the damage to his reputation was substantial, and he faced criticism from various quarters, including the Anti-Defamation League and other advocacy groups. In the aftermath of the incident, Mel took steps to address the consequences of his actions. He entered a rehabilitation program for his health issues and sought to make amends for his behavior. However, the incident continued to cast a long shadow over his career, leading to strained relationships within the industry and affecting public perceptions of the once beloved actor. Mel's return to the screen after a hiatus was met with anticipation and curiosity from both fans and the industry alike. In 2010, Mel starred in Edge of Darkness. This was his return to a starring role after an 8-year acting break. Despite personal challenges and controversies affecting his public image, Mel's talent remained evident on screen. His roles in films like Ransom, Bloodfather, and The Expendables 3 showcased his ability to seamlessly navigate between genres and character types. Mel Gibson's career, marked by highs and lows, reflected his enduring presence and influence in the world of cinema. Whether as an action hero, dramatic actor, or director, Mel's contribution to the industry is undeniable. In 1991, Mel faced allegations of homophobia after making offensive remarks during an interview with a Spanish newspaper. Although he issued an apology, the incident resurfaced in discussions about his controversial statements over the years. The recurring nature of such incidents has contributed to a complex perception of Mel, with his personal views and behavior often overshadowing all the good work he has done. Even beyond personal controversies, Mel's directorial venture, The Passion of the Christ, sparked widespread debate. The film faced accusations of anti-Semitism for its portrayal of Jewish actors, leading to concerns about reinforcing harmful stereotypes. Mel defended the film as historically accurate, but the controversy surrounding its release did add another layer to the ongoing discussion about Mel's impact on cultural and religious sensitivities. With a personality like Mel, it's no surprise that he has ruffled some feathers in the industry. Mel has had a few publicized conflicts and controversies with other stars in the industry. One notable instance involved a heated exchange with screenwriter Joe Esterhaz during the production of a film about the Maccabees. Esterhaz accused Mel of sabotaging the project, claiming that Mel expressed extremely racist views during private incidents. This dispute became public when Esterhaz's letter, outlining his allegations, was published on a film industry website. Mel, in response, stated that he still intended to make the film, but would not base it on Esterhaz's script, which he deemed substandard. Another high-profile disagreement occurred between Mel Gibson and Winona Ryder. Winona claimed that Mel made anti-Semitic and homophobic remarks during a party in the 90s. Mel denied the allegations, stating that he had no recollection of making such comments. Winona told this in an interview in 2010. Until this time, Mel had gotten in trouble quite a few times owing to his racist remarks. When this feud happened, no one had any doubt that Winona was speaking the truth, and Mel was just making up lies. Despite the controversy, both actors have continued their respective careers in the industry. Mel Gibson's battle with addiction has been a well-documented and challenging aspect of his life. He openly acknowledged starting to drink at an early age, reflecting on a tumultuous journey marked by really good highs but some very low lows, as he revealed in a 2002 interview for the documentary conducted by his former National Institute of Dramatic Art colleague Sally Mackenzie. In 1984, Gibson faced legal consequences for his struggles with addiction when he was banned from driving in Ontario, Canada, for 3 months after rear-ending a car in Toronto while under the influence. Following this incident, Mel sought refuge on his Australian farm for over a year in an attempt to recover, yet the battle with drinking persisted. Despite his personal challenges, Mel maintained a professional reputation in Hollywood for his punctuality and dedication to his craft, even though the extent of his struggles became apparent when he confided in collaborator Richard Donner that he was consuming drinks for breakfast. Despair reached its peak for Mel in his mid-30s, leading him to contemplate ending it. To overcome this dark period, he turned to meditation on Christ's Passion, seeking solace and healing for his emotional wounds. In 1991, Gibson took a significant hiatus from acting and sought professional help to address his ongoing battle with addiction. His commitment to recovery became evident in 1992 when he provided financial support to Hollywood's Recovery Center, emphasizing the personal significance of addiction in his family and expressing hope in the possibility of overcoming it. Despite these efforts, Mel faced a legal setback in the infamous 2006 DUI charge. He even pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor charge. The court sentenced him to 3 years of probation, mandated attendance of self-help meetings multiple times a week, and a fine of $1,300 with a 90-day restriction on his license. When a big star like Mel Gibson falls from grace, he often becomes a good punchline for the comedians. As it's become a tradition for every award show to start with a roast session, British comedian Ricky Gervais became the most well-suited man for the job. During his memorable stints as the host of the Golden Globes, one consistent element of his comedic repertoire was his penchant for cracking jokes at the expense of Mel Gibson. Ricky, known for his irreverent and controversial humor, turned the jabs at Gibson in a running gag that became a highlight of the award ceremonies. In one instance, Ricky not only continued the tradition of poking fun at Mel Gibson, but also found himself introducing him at the event. With a drink in hand, Ricky openly acknowledged the ongoing jokes about Mel and cheekily remarked that he'd prefer to share a drink with Mel in his hotel room than with Bill Cosby, injecting his trademark humor into the introduction. When Mel took the stage, he responded to the ribbing with good humor and a touch of wit. He said that seeing Ricky at this award show is his yearly reminder of getting the colonoscopy checkup. The banter between the two has become something that people want to see more. In multiple interviews, Mel has shown quite a distaste for Ricky, but on stage, both of them have been quite civil. With a career spreading nearly 5 decades, it's not surprising that Mel Gibson's net worth is estimated to be around $425 million. He's a notable property investor with an extensive portfolio that spans various locations around the world. In Malibu, California, he owns quite a few properties. He reflects his interest in the upscale real estate market. Additionally, Mel holds properties in several locations in Costa Rica. One of Gibson's significant acquisitions is a private island in Fiji named Mago Island. In December 2004, he purchased Mago Island from Tokyu Corporation of Japan for $15 million. The purchase, however, faced opposition from descendants of the original native inhabitants who were displaced in the 1860s. Despite the protests, Mel expressed his intention to preserve the pristine environment of the undeveloped island. In Australia, Gibson was known to own a 300-acre farm in the Kewar Valley. However, in December 2004, he sold this Australian property for $6 million, marking a change in his real estate holdings. Gibson's real estate dealings also extend to the United States. In early 2005, he sold his 45,000-acre ranch in Montana to a neighbor. In April 2007, Mel expanded his holdings with the purchase of a 400-acre ranch in Costa Rica for $26 million. Concurrently, he sold his 76-acre Tudor estate in Connecticut, which he had acquired in 1994 for $9 million, for a substantial $40 million. Further transactions in 2007 included the sale of a Malibu property for $30 million, a notable gain from the $24 million he'd spent on the property just 2 years prior. This demonstrates Gibson's acumen in the real estate market, capitalizing on property appreciation within a relatively short time frame. In 2008, Gibson made another real estate move by purchasing the Malibu home of actors David Duchovny and Tia Leone. This acquisition added to his already impressive collection of properties. Mel Gibson's philanthropic endeavors underscore a commitment to making a positive impact on the lives of others. Together with his former wife, Mel has generously contributed substantial amounts to various charitable causes, showcasing a deep sense of social responsibility. One notable organization that has benefited from the Gibson family's philanthropy is Healing the Children, an entity dedicated to providing life-saving medical treatment to underprivileged children globally. The Gibson's significant financial support has played a crucial role in enabling the organization to carry out its mission and make a difference in the lives of those in need, as confirmed by Chris Embleton, one of the founders. Beyond healthcare initiatives, Mel has shown his dedication to the arts and education. They have supported the restoration of Renaissance artwork, demonstrating a commitment to preserving cultural heritage. Additionally, he has contributed millions of dollars to his alma mater, National Institute of Dramatic Art. Mel's philanthropy extends to environmental conservation efforts as well. He donated $500,000 to the El Mirador Basin Project, aimed at protecting the last tract of virgin rainforest in Central America, and funding archaeological excavations in the cradle of Mayan civilization. His commitment to environmental sustainability was further evident in his support for a tire recycling factory in Gallup, New Mexico, through financial assistance to Green Rubber Global. Mel's philanthropic footprint has also reached into the realm of healthcare, particularly for children facing chronic and terminal illnesses. During a business trip to Singapore, he donated to a local charity dedicated to supporting such children, demonstrating a global reach in his charitable endeavors. Moreover, Mel Gibson is an advocate for addressing addiction issues among teens. He supports Angels at Risk, a non-profit organization that focuses on educating young people about the dangers of substance use. In reflecting on his philanthropic work in a 2011 interview, Gibson acknowledged the transformative power of giving, stating that it helped him gain perspective. This sentiment encapsulates Gibson's belief in the positive impact of philanthropy on both the recipients and the giver, emphasizing the importance of compassion and empathy in making a difference in the world. Mel Gibson has undeniably solidified his status as an iconic figure in Hollywood. He seems impervious to the cancel culture that has affected many in the industry. Numerous distinguished magazines have pointed to Mel as a shining example of a star who simply cannot be cancelled. Even with all the setbacks that he's faced in his career, nothing could diminish his standing. In fact, these challenges have added a unique layer to his public image. Mel's longevity in the entertainment industry spans nearly 5 decades, making it evident that he'll only exit Hollywood on his own terms. Despite the controversies, Mel's contributions to the film industry remain noteworthy. However, some of the incidents have undeniably left a lasting imprint on his public image, prompting ongoing discussions about the complexities of separating an artist's work from their